Hello, beautiful people. You're most welcome to another interesting tutorial with Diamond Claudius. It's always a pleasure to have you here. If this is the first time you are coming across this channel, kindly click on the subscription button. So, on today's tutorial, I'll be learning how to make this stylish and cute eye look cape top. Okay, so if this looks like what you like to learn, please stay to the end of this tutorial. All right, so here with me is my African print. I have 2 yards of fabric right here, and also you'll be needing a matching lining, and you can also decide to make this a reversible top by making use of another fabric to line it. Okay, so what I make use of is actually a black lining. All right, so the first thing you are going to do is to fold your fabric into four, just like we cut out a flame. Go ahead and cut it and fold it into four. Make sure that the part that has the open edge is facing you. All right, so that is going to be our center front, and the other side that is closed is going to be our center back. Whereas this other side that is facing the camera is going to be for the side. I hope you understand. This cape does not have any joining. All right. So the next thing you are going to do is to take your shoulder to shoulder measurement. Go ahead and place your tape on anywhere that fits your shoulder to shoulder measurement. So for these, I'll be making use of 8 inches. So I'm gonna head to place my tape on 8 inches. Then I will use my ruler to roll it out into a straight line. So this is our shoulder line, and it is also going to be our starting line. So on this starting line, the next thing I'm going to do is that I'll be taking my neck width, and what I'm working with is actually 3.25, which is perfect for me. So on that front part, you are going to measure 3.25, and for the back neckline, I'll be working with 1 inch. Then I will use my ruler to curve it into a round neckline. Remember that we are cutting both the front and the back together. This top does not have any joining. All right, so for the front neck depth rather, I'll be working with 2.75, which also works perfectly for me. I don't like it to choke too much, but in case you want it to be really fitted, you can decide to work with 2.5 inches. All right, so after taking my measurement, I'm going to roll it out into a round neckline with my curve rule. So right now we'll be working on the shoulder line. So on the shoulder line, I'll come down by 1 inch. You can decide to come down by more than that, probably 1.5 or 2 inches. That depends on how curved you want your shoulder to be. So I'm working with 1 inch actually. So on that 1 inch that I just marked, I will use my curve rule. Please make sure that you place your curve rule properly. I'll use my curve rule to create a curve, to create that shoulder curve. And you can also decide to make use of your free hand if you don't have a curve rule. But I advise that you make use of a curve rule, okay? So after that is done, make sure that you have the perfect shape that looks exactly like what I have right here. So you can use your free hand to now highlight it after making use of your curve rule. Okay, so what I have right here is very much okay for me. So the next thing I will do right here is just to cut it out. Now, when you are cutting out the neckline, please don't cut directly on the lines that we've marked out. Remember, we are cutting this directly on the fabric. Assuming we are making use of a pattern paper now, you can decide to cut directly. Okay, so go ahead and cut through the back neckline to the curved shoulder line. All right, so when you are done cutting that out, the next thing you are going to do is to cut out the front. And to cut out the front, remember to lift up the front piece. We are cutting both the front and the back together, so it will be very bad if you make that mistake of cutting the front and the back together again. All right, so After that is done, the next thing we are going to do is to cut out the length of this top. Remember, this is an high-low top and the back is longer than the front. Okay, so for that, for the back length, I'll be working with 32 inches. Okay, so from the shoulder line, I'm going to place my tape on the shoulder line, then I'll mark my desired length. Go ahead and mark your desired length as well. What I'm working with is 32 inches. I'm going to chalk down 32 inches right there. For the front length, I'll be working with 20 inches. Just make sure that whatever measurements you are working with is longer than your half length, okay? So what I'm working with right here is 20 inches, which is just perfect. You can decide to also make use of your 20 inches, but that actually depends on your height, all right? So go ahead and mark the 20 inches, placing your tape on your shoulder line. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to, connect the front and the back together. This is an high low top, but what I'm going to do is that I'll be making use of my free hand. So if you want to use the same method, go ahead and open up your fabric this way. And from the back, we measure 32 inches. So go ahead and use your free hand to just connect it to the 20 inches that we have for the front length. So after I did it to this stage, what I did was just to go to the front length as well on the 20 inches that I marked. Then I connected it to the back. You can see what we have right there, okay? So go ahead and do the same thing. So after you've gotten your desired length and you are sure of the accuracy of what you have, go ahead and cut it out. So after cutting it out, I decided to fold it just to show us what I have. All right. So on this center front, if you notice on the picture on the thumbnail, the center front is not just straight. Okay. So I came down by 1.5 inches from the center front, and then I'm going to use my curve rule to create a little curve. You can decide to make use of your free hand as well. So you can decide to come down by probably 1 inch, 1.5 or 2 inches, but I made use of 1.5 inches. So go ahead and create your curve and cut it out. So if you've gotten to this point and you've not subscribed to this channel yet, you are very, very wrong. Please go ahead and click on the subscription button, okay? And don't forget to put on your notification bell as well so that you can always get notified whenever we post new content. So the next thing you'll be doing right here is to cut out your lining. I'll be doing that off camera. I said earlier that you can be creative with this, you can make this a reversible top. All right, so if you want to make it a reversible top, go ahead and use another fabric to cut it out. So for the button loop, this is what I'm gonna add to made, and it is just half of an inch wide and it is 2 inches long. Okay, so I'm going to place that aside and open up the fabric and the lining itself. So this is what the lining looks like, and this is what the main fabric looks like when you open it up. But before you join, just place the lining aside and go ahead and fold the front and back together. I mean, go ahead and open up your fabric and make sure that the shoulder lines aligns, okay? So what I mean by that is because you'll be taking it to your sewing machine to join your shoulder first of all before joining your lining. I hope you understand what I just said. So on that curved part of the shoulder, make sure it aligns. Take it to your sewing machine and stitch it down. Whatever you do for the main fabric, go ahead and do the same thing for the lining as well. So after I was done, this is what I have. You can see that our cape is taking shape already. So please don't forget to notch. Notching is very, very important. So go ahead and turn the main fabric to the right side and the lining to the wrong side. Then you place the main fabric inside the lining, making sure that the right side of the lining and the right side of the main fabric are facing each other. So the next thing you're going to do is just to pin these all around from the neckline, the sides, the down parts, everywhere. Just go ahead and pin it all around. So on the center front, go ahead and place your button loop in between the main fabric and the lining, just like I'm doing, and pin it down as well. So when you are done, you are going to take it to your sewing machine and sew it all round, leaving 2 to 3 inches for turning when you are done sewing. Okay, so what I did was just to leave mine somewhere at the back where it won't be so obvious. So go ahead and do the same thing, and after you are done pinning, just take it to your sewing machine to stitch it down all round, leaving 2 to 3 inches for opening. So this is what I have after I was done sewing. And for the opening that I left, that is where I'm going to be turning out this fabric. Okay. All right. So this is the opening, and I'm going to turn it out right from there. Please go ahead and do the same thing. I forgot to mention that before you turn it out, make sure that you notch it all around before you turn it out. Okay. So when you are done turning, you are going to make use of your hand to straighten out all the curved edges. Okay. So when you are done doing that, you are going to take this back to your sewing machine to close the opening that we have to, turn it out. That opening that we used, go ahead, take it to your sewing machine and close it down. All right, so on the center front, on the side that does not have the loop, you are going to be fixing your button right there. So whatever opening you want to use actually depends on you. I made use of this beautiful button, and I used my needle and thread to just fix it. So after that is done, I'll take it to my ironing table to give it a very good press. And after I was done, this is what I have. And you can see that it's so beautiful, especially on this baby girl. All right, so I have another tutorial on how to make this. I made the one with the pointed shoulder. So if this looks like what you would like to learn, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for staying till the very end. I hope to see you in my next tutorial. Don't forget to click on that subscribe button. Okay, bye.